Good morning students, welcome to your English language class. Today we are going to cover two topics in this video. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand how to use future tense of intention. You will be able to understand different types of conditions and you will be able to use appropriate tenses in conditional sentences. Now students, open your Essentials of English Grammar and Composition book at page number 101. Let's start with the first topic of today's video, that is the future tense of intention going to. Students, you have already done tenses. How many types of tenses are there? There are three types of tenses. First is present, second is past, and the third is future. Now what is present tense? In order to refer to the events that are going on in the present, we use present tense. Now when do we use past tense? Something that has already happened. For that we use past tense. When do we use future tense? Whatever is going to happen in future, for that we use future tense. And sometimes we can express the future tense by using present continuous tense as well. Let me explain to you how. Let's take an example. I will reply to her letter. Now this sentence can also be written like I am going to reply to her letter. Though I have used present continuous tense, it indicates that the action has not yet been done. It is going to be done in the near future. What we have to do here is simply we will replace will or shall with the helping verbs, that is are, plus we have to add going to, and rest of the sentence will remain same. See the sentence structure for this. That is subject plus helping verb, that is are, plus going to plus verb plus object. Let's see example number 2. We will plant some apple trees in our garden. Again, it is clear that the action of planting has not yet been done. It will be done in the near future. So by using the sentence structure, what will be our answer? Our answer will be we are going to plant some apple trees in our garden. Come to next example. Be careful, the ice will crack. Now here also it is something that may happen in the future. So we can write this sentence by using going to. What will be our answer? Our answer will be careful, the ice is going to crack. Come to example number 4. Look at those black clouds, we will have a storm. Now again here there is an indication that there may be a storm because we can see black clouds. So again it is likely that there may be a storm. So we can use going to in this sentence. And our answer will be, look at those black clouds. We are going to have a storm. Next example number 5. I shall tell you a story. Here again what we have to do? We will replace will or shall with are and we have to add going to. So what will be our answer? Our answer will be I am going to tell you a story. Here we are done with the first topic. Now students, from your English grammar and composition books, you have to solve exercise number 68 of chapter number 22, that is given on page number 101. Now moving on to the next topic, that is tenses in conditional sentences. Let us first of all understand what are conditional sentences by taking some examples. Example, If it rains, the match will not be played. Here, the word if is telling us about a condition. The condition is if it rains. According to the sentence, the match will not be played if it rains. See the next one. You will pass if you work hard. What is the condition for passing? The condition is if you work hard, then only you will pass. See the next one. If I went to the moon, I would be a great man. So these type of sentences are called conditional sentences. Now, it is not necessary that the sentences having the word if are conditional sentences. There are some other words also that are normally used to express condition like unless, were, in case, provided, etc. Let's see the examples of these. See, I shall take an umbrella in case it rains. The next one, we shall go provided the weather is fine. He will not get there in time unless he hurries. Were I alone, I should be afraid to go. Now all these words are also referring to the conditions. Now come to the next one, the types of conditions. There are basically three types of conditions that are, the first one is open condition, second is rejected condition, and the last is imaginary condition. We will take conditions one by one. The first one is open condition, a condition which may or may not be fulfilled. See the example. I shall take an umbrella in case it rains. Here we have a condition that is in case it rains. So here it may rain or it may not rain. Whenever there is a condition which may happen or may not happen, it is known as open condition. Let's take some more examples. If it rains, the match will not be played. Again, there is a possibility that it may rain or it may not rain. If it rains, the match will not be played, and if it does not rain, the match will be played. Example number 3. If I have time, I shall visit the zoo. In the same way, we have an open condition here. If I have time, I shall visit the zoo. And if I don't have time, I shall not visit the zoo. There is a possibility of having time and possibility of not having time. See one more example. If I have money, I shall buy a suitable present for you. Again, this is an open condition where there is a possibility of having money or not having money. So all these are the examples of open condition. Let's move on to the next condition, that is rejected condition. A condition which might have been fulfilled but is not. Let's understand this with examples. If I weren't so busy, I would go to the station with you. Now, this action has already happened in the past. I could have gone to the station with you, but I did not go. This has already happened, so the condition was not fulfilled. Therefore, it is a rejected condition. Now, coming to example number 2. If I had time, I should visit the zoo. Again, it means that I did not visit the zoo as I was not having time. And if I had time, I could have visited the zoo, but I did not visit. So therefore, it is a rejected condition. Example number 3. If I had known, I would have told you. It means that I have not told you because I did not know it. So this is also a rejected condition. It could be fulfilled only if I knew it. It was not possible to do. So it is a rejected condition. Example number 4. If I had gone to Agra, I would have seen the Taj. Like other sentences, this is also a rejected condition, as I could have seen Taj but I have not seen because I did not go to Agra. So all these are the examples of rejected condition. Next comes imaginary condition, a condition which could not be true. Example number 1. If I were a bird, I would fly. Now this is the condition which actually cannot be fulfilled. This cannot happen. It is not possible for me to become a bird. So it is an imaginary condition. Example number 2. If I were you, I should post that letter at the main post office. Again, if you notice here, if I were you means if I were in your place, and this is not possible. We are just supposing. So this is also an imaginary condition. Example number 3. If I went to the moon, I would be a great man. Here again we are just supposing, we are just imagining. Like if I went to the moon, I would be a great man. So this is an imaginary condition. Example number 4. If you were the president, you would live in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Here if you were the president means if you were at the place of president, and that is not possible. So this is also an imaginary condition. Now as you have understood 3 types of conditions, now we will understand the tenses in conditional sentences. But before understanding the tenses in conditional sentences, let us first identify 2 clauses in a sentence. Let's take an example. I shall visit the zoo if I have time. Now, this sentence can be divided into 2 parts. I shall visit the zoo and if I have time. Now pick out the conjunction from the sentence. What is the conjunction used here? The conjunction is if. Now, the part of the sentence that starts with the conjunction is called conditional clause or subordinate clause, and the other part is called the main clause. We are calling subordinate clause as conditional clause because here conjunction if is expressing a condition. Now let's take one more example to identify the conditional clause and main clause. Example, if you had worked hard, you would have passed. Now identify the conjunction. The conjunction used here is if. So the clause that begins with a conjunction if is called a conditional or subordinate clause, and the other part of the sentence is called main clause. Now there are some rules that you have to keep in mind while using tenses in conditional sentences. So here is a table given for that. One side there is a conditional clause and the other side there is a principal clause. If conditional clause is in simple present tense, then principal clause will be in simple future tense. That is, if in conditional clause it will be if plus present form of the verb, then it will be followed by will or shall plus present form of the verb. Example, if it rains, the match will not be played. Next rule, if conditional clause is in simple past tense, then the main clause we will use past tense of will or shall, that is would or should plus present form of the verb. See the example, if it rained, the match would not be played. Rule number 3, if in conditional clause it is given past perfect tense, that is had plus past participle form of the verb, then main clause should be in would have or should have plus past participle form of the verb. Example, if it had rained, the match would not have been played. Let's take some more examples. If you work hard, you dash pass. What will you write? If you work hard, you will pass. Next one. If you worked hard, you dash pass. Now it's in simple past tense and that will be followed by the past tense of will or shall, that will be would. So our answer will be if you worked hard, you would pass. Next one. If you had worked hard, you dash passed. What will we write here? If you had worked hard, you would have passed. Now these sentences we have done according to our rules that we have discussed in the table. I hope you have understood this. Now let's come to some miscellaneous examples of condition. If she were to see you, she would be surprised. Now the same sentence we can begin with were. All we need to do is step number 1, remove if. Step number 2, interchange the position of the subject and the helping verb. She will go in the place of were and were will come in the place of she. So our answer will be were she to see you, comma, she would be surprised. Next, if I were alone, I should be afraid to go. Again, we have to follow the same steps, remove if and interchange the positions of the helping verb and the subject. So our answer will be were I alone, comma, I should be afraid to go. The next example, if you had worked hard, you would have passed. Now in the same way, following those two steps, remove if and interchange the positions of the subject and the helping verb. And our answer will be had you worked hard, comma, you would have passed. The next one, if you should meet him, tell him about it. Now again the same rules. So our answer will be should you meet him, comma, tell him about it. Children, note one thing here in this sentence. Here should is not the past form of shall. Okay. So this brings us to the end of today's video. Now children, open your Essentials of English Grammar and Composition book and solve first 10 sentences of exercise number 69 that is given on page number 103. Thank you.